Dear connections, a very happy new year to all. So, today is the first day of new year 2026. Let's start our new year with new learnings. Today, I will discuss about a very important interview question which question is encountered by all of not only data analysts but also data engineers, DBA admins, and software developers also face this question. So the question is how to handle null values. Okay, so if you ask this question into Google or into YouTube, you will get some vague reply. You will get some not so correct reply or answer. Like in many videos you will see that they are describing null as zero, and just to ignore it, and many creators are telling that we should remove that, we should delete all the null values. But hold on, wait, the case is not like that. So let's jump into our notepad file to discuss. So see, what is null values? Null values are not zeros. We can say nulls are basically missing or unknown values. Okay, now the question is, does null value makes any sense in business context? And we do not have any exact reply on this because it is depending on your company or depending on your client company and the stakeholders what they are thinking. And if the business context is yes, like null value is making any sense, then we should leave them as it is. And if it is no, the answer is no, then we need to figure out how to fill the null rows by discussing with the concerned stakeholders. Okay, so let's jump into our SQL server. Basically, I created a table called customer details. You can see the query select star from customer details, where you can see customer ID, first name, last name, date of birth, address, phone, email, etc. All these things are there, basically the customer details. But in this video we have to focus on only first name and last name column. Okay, so if you see in the first name column, some first names are null, some last names are null, even some in some cases first name and last name both are null. Let's say you are working for a product based company, they have some product, they are selling them, and when customers are leaving their shops, they need to fill the details. And let's say the customers are on hurry, so yeah, and for privacy concern they did not mention their first name and last name. Okay, so now in this scenario how we can handle null values. Okay, so let me comment it out as of now because this query is not needed for now. So yeah, so let's discuss our next point. So how to identify null values? We can use is null. To identify the null values, we can use is null. So let me paste this query. See, select first name, last name. If like first name is null and last name is null from the table name. So let me run this query. Okay, there is some incorrect syntax. Let me fix this. Yeah. So by mistake I gave a gap between that functions. So it will be is null, is null, is null. So yeah. So now see the output. The first name and last name is as it is. And in the is null column, it is printing basically where the first name is null and the last name is null. Okay. Okay, let me figure this out. It is not giving the correct output. Let me see what I have. Mm. Okay, this is the thing. Mm. So my syntax were wrong. That's why it was giving incorrect result. So it will be is now. Let me paste it and figure it out. What will be the solution? Is null is null first name are none as. Let's don't give any S condition. Okay. Is first name is null first name. Then again control V, it will be last name. It will be last name. So basically, okay. So this is the correct query. So to identify null values, we can use is null function. Okay. So is null is basically, let's say if there is any null values, it is printing none for those values. Okay. So you can just identify, like to visually see some rows or some samples. You can use this is null function. Okay. So now let us discuss our third point. The third point is filtering data with where clause. Okay, so let me copy this query and paste it here. So see, using where condition, why where condition is used? Where condition is used predominantly because of filtering data. Okay, so wait a minute, let me fix this. Is null. There will be no gap in SQL Server. Yes. So select first name, then it is printing first name, then last name. Then if first name is null, mm, and then last name is null. Now we use this. Now see this where condition very carefully. Where first name is not null and last name is not null. So our motto of this SQL query was printing only the full first name and last name. Like we already saw that in some rows, the first name and last name both printed, both were there. So, like in your company, the requirement may come like remove the null values. Okay, like your manager don't want to see the null things, the null rows. So in that scenario you can use this where condition where first name is not null and last name is not null. As you can see, no nulls are here. Okay, so all are printed successfully, only the name with full values. Now our next point, counting nulls with case statement and aggregate functions. Sometimes the requirement may come like the business stakeholder want to check the count. Okay, so in that scenario also don't be worried and use this SQL query. Select sum. Under the sum we wrote a case statement. Case when first name is null, then it should print 1 else 0 end. If the last name is null, then 1 else 0 end. As last name, like we give two new names like first name underscore null, last underscore name underscore null, like that. Let me run this query. Mm, okay. An expression of non-boolean type is specified in a context where a condition is expected. Text where a condition is expected. Let me check. If you get this type of error messages, just go to Google and search it. Wait a minute. SQL server errors. An expression non-boolean type specified near. Actually, I was not that much aware about, like I did not think much about the syntax of SQL Server because see SQL language is same but syntax are different for different databases. Okay, Stack Overflow is a good option. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, let me think. Wait a minute, I am coming. So the so my purpose so my purpose of this SQL query was counting nulls with case statement and aggregate functions. Okay. Mm, mhm. what was the error? The error is this. Hmm. Mhm. Yes, personalization. Okay, let me remove the. Let me remove. Okay, okay. Let me give a space between is and null. Then one is zero and okay. Let me see if it is working on. Yes, now it is working. So in SQL Server, in some cases, we do not need to give spaces, but in case of aggregate function, we need to give space between is and not. Okay, otherwise it will not work. So basically, we counted all the nulls in the first name column, and the number is 12, and we counted all the last name nulls in that last name column, and the number is 11. Okay, so this is the thing. Last name column. Okay. Now the next topic, replacing null values with if null. In some other companies, they may require some values, like you need to put some values in place of null values. Okay. In that scenario, you can use if null SQL function. Okay. So let me try this. Hmm. If you run this function, it will in let's say in the first name, we all know in the first name column there are many nulls in that first name column. So it will basically replace the null values with this word unknown. Okay, but I am not running this query as of now, because if I run this query, we can't I can't show you the next topic, I mean the next and the last topic, which is my favorite topic. Basically, it is qualis. So we can use qualis for advanced null handling. Okay. So in any professional scenario, like here we have only 30 rows. Okay, 20, 30 rows. But in real databases, or if you work with a real world scenario, there will be millions and millions of rows. So in that scenario, you can for more professional way, you can use qualis function. Okay, so I am pasting the qualis after this. So see, basically the purpose of both are same, but here what it is doing is like in the first name column, it it will search the null. At first, it will search the null, whatever nulls are there in the first name. Then it will replace it with unknown. Let me run this. See, in the second row of the first name column, there was null. It replaced with this word unknown. After snare, I can see there is another null. Then it is printing unknown. Then after Rahul there is one null. It is now it is unknown. Okay, so this is the thing. And for the last name also we can replicate this. In place of first name, let me give last name. It will be last name fill, and here also it will be last name. Or wait a minute, let me use this last name in our previous query we did not run. Okay, so here let me give last name for the previous scenario. Whenever you have a confusion, just Google or use SQL Server with some small data sets and run the query and practice. If you practice more, you will be more accurate. Last name field. Okay, replacing null values with if null. If null is not recognized, why? Let me give a gap. Let's see if it is working or not. uh, Wait a minute, there is something wrong again. If null in SQL Server. What is the syntax of if null in SQL Server? Okay, see, SQL Server does not use if null function, which is a MySQL specific function. Instead, SQL Server is using is null. Okay, hmm. Okay, that's why we get this error. But yeah, okay, not an issue. We have qualis, we have is null also. So if I run this is qualis SQL Server, this is this. So see, the last name was null after Roy. It replaced with unknown. Then again, it is replaced with unknown. And in the last two rows also I know nulls were there, so it is replaced with unknown. Okay. So I hope you have understood the whole thing, how to handle null values. Okay, like like databases may be different, like MySQL server. Some company may use SQL server, some company may use Snowflake database or Azure SQL database. SQL syntax will be same for all, like the algorithm will be same, but the syntax may be somewhat different. Okay, like there may be some capital letters you need to give or third brackets you need to give, and all those stuffs are there. So I hope you have understood the whole uh, null handling scenario in real time situation. So thank you very much, and if you have any further question, please shoot your comment in the comment box. Thank you very much.